Now, pharmacists at public hospitals in the country have in the last hour resolved to withdraw, and this was late yesterday, resolved to withdraw their services. It comes even as the country is grappling with a partial strike by the doctors. Their colleague doctors, the pharmacists, are agitating over their concerns with a single spine pay policy and had met the chief of staff, whose intervention apparently only stalled a strike declaration last Friday. The pharmacists say they have run out of patience and cannot wait for the August 6th date requested by the chief of staff to resolve their concerns. Stephen Kokwe is national chairman of the Government Hospital Pharmacists Association.
We have come from, 4 years of very painful negotiations, agitations and arbitrations and discussions. They have decided that with effect from today, 3rd of August, we're going to withdraw all OPD services, night services, weekend services. We only attend to inpatient and emergency services from today. The concern was seeing the migration of the pharmacists onto the single span. We have had issues with the placement of the pharmacists on the grade structure. We had gone to the National Labour Commission, had a compulsory arbitration, then later on had a ruling by the National Labour Commission on 2 occasions, which Fair Wages and Salary Commission did not implement. And that led to another 2 strikes. The issue about the interim market premium, which was a proxy as a result of the extra duty hours that we were doing before we were moved on to the single span. To tell you the truth, the pharmacist group were the only group that after the migration of the single span, they were in negative salary. That is to say, their health service work salary structure was far, far more than the single spine pay policy.
Well, patients are continuing to feel the impacts of that partial withdrawal of services by doctors at public hospitals in the country. At the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Hano Dami reports of the long hour waits patients have had to endure due to the action by the doctors.
I got here at 6 a.m. We've been told that the doctors are not on duty, and yet we have to wait till further notice. So we are still here waiting.
But it's past 10, so if you've been told the doctors are not working, why are you still here? Why don't you go to another facility where you'll be taken care of?
Because we've been told there is a possibility they will come and work. We are here on a referral, so there's no other place that we can go.
How long are you willing to wait? Because you waited for hours already.
I'll wait till noon 12, then I'll leave. Yes.
How does this make you feel? I mean, sitting here for long hours just waiting for a doctor whom you do not know whether will come or not.
It's very, very frustrating because I'm supposed to be at work. I just took permission. So me not being able to see the doctor today is going to be a huge problem because it will be very difficult for me to get another permission to come here again.
Me do at 7 o'clock.
I got here at 7 a.m. and was told the doctors were on strike, but I have put my folder down waiting till 11 a.m. If no one tells me anything, I will go home. I was transferred from the children's hospital, so I don't have anywhere else to go.
Me coffee. Me almost transfer me. Me almost transfer me for children's hospital at the bay.
The story of Grace is different. For her child is on admission, and so we want to find out if indeed the promise by the doctors that they will take care of patients on admission is being carried through. Grace, is your child being taken care of by the doctors?
My son was brought here as an emergency case, but no doctor has attended to him since last Friday. The nurses only give him food, but no doctor has seen him or prescribed medication for him. The nurses cannot tell me when a doctor will come
and
take care of my son. I am so worried.
So
as we just heard, the story of Grace is totally different. The Ghana Medical Association told us that they would take care of patients on admission, but as we just heard from her, even those on admission, that's her son in particular, has not been attended to since she brought the child here.
Well, Hannah Dame reporting there, and I'm sad to say that this situation would continue. Hopefully, it doesn't get worse. Well, government is in the meanwhile calling on striking doctors in the country to call off their strike action to enable all parties reach an agreement in the ongoing negotiations on their conditions of service. A statement released by the Employment and Labour Relations Minister Haruna Idrisu says government is committed to the creation of a conducive working environment for all public sector workers. It further said government has been in discussion with the Ghana Medical Association on conditions of service for medical officers. The Employment Minister is therefore asking the Medical Association to call off what he describes as an illegal strike to enable the parties finalize negotiations.
The action of the doctors is clearly unlawful, it's illegal. We cannot, as a government, be compelled to negotiate under a cohesive environment or under duress. So I expect that we will respect each other as parties to the negotiations. Therefore, mine is to appeal to them to return back to work while the negotiation process continues. We are doing this within the constraints of the national budget, and accordingly, we have referred the financial implications to the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and the Compensation Department of the Ministry of Finance to analyze in order that government can meet them with an informed position as to what is possible within the constraints of the budget and what is not possible. We just got out of the problem with junior doctors. We've asked the Ministry of Health to deal with nurses who are now being processed onto the payroll to avoid they taking a similar action.
We still stay with health, but we turn our attention at least from the doctors. Now, the community of Kong in the northern region is one with a lot of challenges that make it difficult for any person to live comfortably. For pregnant women, however, the situation is quite dire. Accessing healthcare in this community seems an insurmountable challenge as they need to travel some 25 kilometers just to have access to good health care. The past 7 months alone has seen 5 expectant mothers deliver on the road while en route to a health center at Tuna, which is a nearby community. Here's a report by Rafiq Salam.
In this community, they have a resident population of a little over 3,000 people, and the people have myriad of challenges facing them, and one of them is the inability to have access to quality health care. There's no clinic here, and the women here have to walk long distance in search of this quality health care here. And so I'm going to speak to one woman who went through that experience of accessing quality health care at Tuna. On her way, she delivered twins. Now let's move on and speak to the woman. Fatuma Mahama is a mother of 8, and she has been living in this farming community for her entire 40 years life. In fact, she delivered 11 children, but 3 passed on. On 2 of the occasions that she was in labor, she delivered 2 sets of twins, but one under difficult and mysterious circumstance. She delivered on her way to the Tuna Health Center on the back of a motorbike. She recounted what happened to her that fateful night, riding on the bumpy 25-kilometer road to the health center.
When I was in labor, I woke my husband up and he told me that he wasn't having motorbike. I shouted at him to go and beg from one Shakibu, which he did. On our way, I asked him to stop for me to attend nature's call. Immediately he stopped and I alighted from the motorbike. I delivered twins.
Going through that excruciating pain, she swore that she will never become pregnant again unless there's a health facility in their community.
We are not rich, and our husbands can't afford motorbikes. When you are in labor, your husband has to go begging from colleagues who are having nice times with their wives for you to be sent to the clinic. In that way, you inconvenience them. So I have resolved not to give birth anymore.
It's been close to 3 years since the incident occurred, and the change Fatima Mahama crave for is even worsening by the day. The road is still bumpy and becomes unmotorable anytime it rains. Pregnant women found it difficult to attend antenatal service at the Tuna Health Center because their husbands had to carry them on motorbikes on the deplorable road, which sometimes caused them to deliver on the road, while those who were likely to reach the center delivered their babies dead. A highly pregnant Fatima Isa, who is a mother of 2 and has already had 2 stillbirths on the road, shared her frustration.
My heart always palpitates when it comes to mind. My husband has neither bicycle nor a motorbike, even if you are lucky to have any of them. But the bad road will not spare you. Your faith always hangs in the balance.
Meanwhile, the Solatuna Kalba District Director of the Ghana Health Service, Thomas Beber Sr., speaking off camera, conceded the situation is worrying, but plans are far afoot to build a health center for the community. He stated that a contract has already been awarded by the Solatuna Kalba District Assembly to that effect, and work is scheduled to begin the next few weeks. It is the wish of residents here, especially pregnant women, to access quality health care right at their doorstep. There could not be any better time to demand for it than now. They are appealing to the Solatuna Kalba District Assembly to quicken the process to enable them realize this life-saving dream. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Kung, Northern Region.
What can I say? Be grateful wherever you are. Now, a blind woman with 4 children is contemplating taking her own life and those of her children because she is embarrassed by her inability to cater for them. Regina Mensah was expecting her 4th child when she fell and hit her head on her bed and has since not been able to see. The man she called her husband also abandoned her just a week after delivery of her 4th child. Joy News' Kwete Nate visited the family.
Regina Mensah lost her mom when she was only 5 years old. As a child, Regina single-handedly footed the bills of her basic education. That was the only level her meager income could take her. She sold on the street to survive. Regina's ordeal began when she hit her head against a stone and went blind while expecting her 4th baby.
Around 4 to 5 new.
Between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., I woke up to urinate. I didn't know there was water on the ground, so I slept and hit my head on the bed and fell on the floor. I went blind afterwards.
Regina's husband abandoned her when she lost her sight. She walks around only with the help of her 9-year-old son. Now blind, it's difficult for Regina to resume her old business of selling sachet water in the day and hawking fried yams in the night. And it's a burden her little children cannot carry. Regina says having to rely on friends to feed her new baby saddens her.
I'm
unable to work because I can't see. I cannot fulfill my responsibility as a parent. My husband abandoned me just a week after delivery. Because of my condition, I have been advised not to breastfeed her. I rely on friends to feed the baby, but that help is not enough.
Regina's plight was first reported by Adum News when her landlady threatened to evict her. Being unable to pay the rent, she is now homeless. Filled with grief and frustration, Regina says she's now contemplating ending her life and those of her children because she's helpless.
I could not pay the rent, and the landlady was threatening to throw us out. So I sent my son to buy poison so I could take our lives. I could no longer handle the frustration.
The wish of Regina's 9-year-old son is an opportunity for her mom to see again so she could work to pay his school fees.
I'm a school dropout because of my mother's condition. I wish she could see so I can return to class.
And that's a prayer they are looking up to God to answer. Reporting for Joy News, Kwetenati, Teshi.
Oh, amazing. Well, the police hospital here in Accra has seen a sharp increase in the number of patients trooping to the facility to seek health care in the last week. The hospital's outpatient department, for instance, saw a huge turnout over the weekend, with the patients coming from as far as Odoko and Nungwa. The ongoing partial strike by doctors is being blamed for the surge, but authorities at the hospital say they have put in place measures to ensure all patients are attended to.
The police hospital and the 37 military hospitals in Accra are the only public hospitals whose doctors are not on strike. The police hospital recorded about 450 cases at its outpatient department over the weekend, a significant increase over the usual 250 cases recorded prior to the doctors' strike. As at 3 p.m. on Monday, about 200 patients had accessed health care at the police hospital. Most of the patients who showed up at the police hospital expressed frustration about being turned away from other public facilities and pleaded with government and the GMA to settle their differences.
I went to the General Hospital, but I was turned away. I got there at 7 a.m. But it was until around 2 p.m. that someone advised me to go to the police hospital. I took my son to Lekma, but we were told doctors are on strike, so they didn't take care of him. I felt very, very bad because my son was suffering. I'm pleading with the doctors and government to resolve their issues now.
Acting Public Relations Officer at the police hospital, Corporal Faustina Nunekpepu, says the hospital has put in place contingency measures to meet the needs of patients who may access the facility as a result of the strike.
We are putting plans underway to procure more drugs and consumables to help us take care of clients who will come here. And also we are looking at erecting tents on the hospital's premises to serve as temporary wards, because the hospital has a bed capacity of 100, and out of this 100, 70 is for the adults and then 30 for children. Yeah, so we have a challenge when it comes to space. Again, we are also looking at the corridors that we deem so appropriate. We are looking at getting them finished with beds, mattresses, and then curtains.
As part of the measures to manage the situation, the police hospital has recalled all staff on leave and has placed a temporary freeze on leave requests until the doctor's strike is over.
Bishop will give you a more extensive coverage of this action now, also being called by the pharmacists working in the public health facilities. That's it for the AM News. I'll come back with Roland Walker. We'll check out what's trending in terms of news online for you.